What did we study yesterday? What is living? Characteristics of living things. Differences between living thing and non-living things. And also the defining features of living things. Okay, today I'll tell you about the diversity in the living world. How do we study so many species of Earth? Let's try to understand meaning of diversity first. And then we will think about the next question. How do we study so many species of Earth? Species of plants or animals or fungi or protists or bacteria. There is term, it's not just diversity. In biological science, the correct word is this: biodiversity. You observe so many people. Do you think we can find same type of appearance, same type of character, same characteristic in two people? It's not possible because there is diversity. We are observing one species, Homo sapien, not so many species, one species. There are many types of people. Yes, types of plants, types of insects, so many types of organisms. But that cannot be a diversity. I have to say number and types. How many species are found on Earth? I say Homo sapiens, it means I mean one species. That's one thing, number. Then types of organisms in every species or different species. So what do you mean by biodiversity? Biodiversity indicates number and types of organisms. This is a big lesson in second year syllabus. You will study about species diversity, genetic diversity, ecological diversities. Basically, if someone asks you how many species of organisms are found on Earth, check it in net. More than 8.5, 8.7 million species. This is not exact estimation. Why? Every day, scientists add new species of plant, new species of animals to the existing list. What does that mean? Every day new species come up? No. We don't know there are many species of plants and animals. It means there are many unknown species. How do you identify unknown species of plant or unknown species of animal? There is a very systematic study here in biological science. This branch of biological science is taxonomy. I may say plant taxonomy, animal taxonomy, fungal taxonomy, taxonomy of bacteria, taxonomy of protist, viral classification, that is different. Who introduced the system of identification of organisms? Who is the father of taxonomy? Carolus Linnaeus. You have studied two kingdom system initially in the introduction part of biological classification, right? Carolus Linnaeus only introduced initially two kingdom system, and later on R.H. Whittaker divided the entire living world into 5 kingdoms. Okay, let me go back to this. What is taxonomy? Identification. What do you mean by identification? Identification of Homo sapien. Is it very tough for you? By seeing the human being, anywhere you can say this person belongs to species Homo sapien. Identification. How did you identify Homo sapien? How did you identify a species of flowering plant? Well, that's common sense. By observing. What did you observe? What did you see? Characteristics. Which characteristic did you observe? Morphology, internal structure, evolution relationship, mode of nutrition, mode of reproduction. Yes. Basically, in many cases, external feature would be enough. Morphological features would be enough. But we also give importance for other things, because sometimes we come across many similar group of organisms, similar type. In Homo sapien, there is only one species, sapien species. Therefore, there is no confusion. We will say Homo sapien. But when we take a similar type of plant, many plants belong to same genus, but not the same species. So in such cases, identification is most important. Identification, correct. You study the characteristics and identify it. Nomenclature. Naming according to the international rules. International Code for Botanical Nomenclature, that is called ICBN. International Code for Zoological Nomenclature, ICZN. Similarly for other things, they follow international code, international system. That's nomenclature. Why do we say international system? When the name is given to an organism, after identifying the name is given to an organism, that naming has to be common throughout the world. There can't be any different name in different parts of the world. Okay, this was first developed by Carolus Linnaeus. He identified organism based on characteristics and gave a correct system of nomenclature. For example, mango tree, you have seen. By seeing tree, you can say it's a mango tree. You observe type of fruit, you observe leaf, you observe height of the plant, you observe flower, you observe one of the characteristics. Taxonomists observe the floral characteristics very closely. Components of flower, floral characteristics, sepal, petal, stamen, carpel. Slowly you will understand that part, because that's another lesson, morphology of flowering plant. You will study floral structure, floral components, importance of floral components in plant taxonomy, especially in angiosperm identification. Okay, I was just trying to say that Linnaeus identified the organism based on the characteristics, and he introduced a correct system of nomenclature. For example, mango. He gave 2-word name. So in his nomenclature, The first component is Mangifera. Okay, this is simply genus name or generic name. Mango tree belongs to this genus. Did he give only one word, one component, one name? No. He introduced, this is called binomial nomenclature. Very important 2-mark question. What is binomial nomenclature? Give me an example. He introduced binomial nomenclature. It means system of naming of an organism with 2 components. This is the first component. Where is the second component? The second one has to be written in this way. Indica. This is the specific name, specific epithet. People simply say species, genus, species, right? I write Homo sapiens, it means the second word indicates specific name, species, specific epithet. The first one is generic name. This is nomenclature, naming of an organism. What is binomial nomenclature? Naming of an organism by using 2 words, 2 components. Taxonomy also includes classification. You have studied classification of organisms, classification of living world, classification of phylum Chordata, classification of plant kingdom, classification of Protista, chrysophytes, dinoflagellates, right? You see, kingdom is classified into phylum, division. In plant, we can say phylum or division. In animal, it is phylum. Kingdom Protista is divided into following phyla. Kingdom Animalia is divided into phylum, following phyla. Classification. What do you mean by classification? This is grouping of an organism, simply. Okay, making different groups in a kingdom, making different groups in a phylum. Right? Grouping. Animal kingdom is divided into Porifera, right? Coelenterata, Ctenophora, up to Chordata. See, kingdom is divided into so many groups. Grouping of an organism based on some easily, based on what? Some easily observable features. We observe sponges, we observe Coelenterate, we observe Ctenophora, we observe Platyhelminthes, we observe chordates. We list the characteristics. It can be morphology, based on morphology, or characteristic based on the internal function systems. Digestive system, respiratory system, reproductive system, development, larval stage, etc. Therefore, that is classification. That can also be a 1-mark question. Grouping of an organism into different categories. Rank, you can say taxon. Yes. Based on some easily observable characters. Don't say simply external character. Some easily observable characters. So what is taxonomy here? Taxonomy includes identification. Study the characteristics and say this individual belongs to the genus Homo, species Sapiens. This plant belongs to genus Mangifera, species Indica. Identification. After identification, after observing the character, you have to take a correct scientific name. Oh, yes, Homo sapien, Mangifera indica. Nomenclature according to binomial nomenclature. Rules, I will tell you about that. Classification. It belongs to genus, family, phylum, class. I will give you a correct sequence of classification of organism from lowest level to highest level. First level is this species level. Individuals are placed in one species. It means they have same number of chromosomes. It means they have many similarities. Many species are kept in a single genus. We keep many genera in a family. We keep many families in a class. We keep many classes in a phylum. Many phyla in a kingdom. Then domain. So this is the correct sequence. Linnean hierarchy. Correct sequence of taxa. Each one is called taxa. Smallest taxon, largest taxon. Yes, you can say taxon, rank, category, smallest rank, highest rank, smallest category, largest category. So complete classification of, it's not just nomenclature or identification, observing character or binomial nomenclature. You need to take a complete classification of the organism from smallest rank, smallest taxon to largest one. Yes, I may ask you, give the correct classification of a human being. You write Homo sapien, then Homo species, genus, sapien species. Family, Hominidae, family Hominidae. Class, Mammalia. Yes, you have studied characteristics of mammals. Phylum, Chordata. You can also take one more rank. Order, then class, and then phylum, then kingdom. Because many families are included in one order. Many orders are included in one class. Many classes are included in one phylum. Many phyla in one kingdom. It's like, I said Homo genus, sapien species, Hominidae family, primates, we are primates, order. Right? Many primates belong to this class Mammalia. Phylum Chordata, kingdom Animalia. So this is the correct sequence. What do you mean by classification? It is the process by which organisms are classified into convenient categories based on some observable characters. Yes. Nomenclature. Naming of an organism with two components so that it can be followed throughout the world. It's universal, according to universal code. Identification, just say this is the example of this genus, this species, this class, the family, order, class, phylum, kingdom. Identification. Then how do you define taxonomy? That can also be a one-mark question. Based on characteristics. Say characteristics. If I say all the following individuals belong to one species, it means that is based on characteristics. Based on chromosome number. We have got fixed number of chromosome number. That taxonomy also considers chromosome number. Modern taxonomy considers many more things. It's not just the observable feature or external feature. internal structures, anatomy, chromosome number. Individuals of one species interbreed and produce offsprings. Individuals of one species have many common characteristics. Yes. So taxonomy indicates classification based on the characteristics. Okay. From species level to kingdom level or domain level. So how do you answer this one more question? It is based on characteristics. Organisms are classified into different taxa. Say from here, this is one taxon, okay. Second taxon, third taxon, fourth taxon, fifth one, sixth one, highest rank, category, taxon. So this process of classification is called taxonomy. Obviously it includes this thing because we start from species. You are going to identify binomial nomenclature. It means after identification only you come to nomenclature. Without this you can't come to this. And then you complete the process. Taxonomy. You come till here. First you begin with this. You observe the individual and say Homo sapien. Then you come to this level. Oh, binomial nomenclature. And then you complete classification process. It means you have got the correct taxonomical status. It means you have got a complete outline of its taxonomy from species level to kingdom level. Once again, how do you define taxonomy? What is taxonomy? You have to take an NCERT sentence only. You can't give your own simple sentence based on characteristics. Yes, based on characteristics only. So many similar characteristics, but less similar characteristics at this level, higher level. So based on characteristics, organisms are classified into different taxa. This process of classification is called taxonomy. Once again, based on characteristics, organisms are classified into different taxa. So this process of classification, right, that is only taxonomy. Clear? So what is identification, what is nomenclature, what is classification, and then what is taxonomy? There is another word in the textbook, systematics. It does consider evolutionary relationship. How are the two species evolved from one ancestor species? Two species have many common characteristics. It means two species evolved from same ancestor. That is also an important aspect in modern taxonomy. Okay. Theory exam. Another important thing is rules pertaining to binomial nomenclature. Can be a 4-mark question. So I'll tell you, it's very easy. Rules, you have to follow rules. Otherwise there is confusion. You have got a medicinal plant. You know the importance of the plant. You are very sure that any kind of fever can be cured from this leaf extract. But how do you communicate? There are millions of species of plants. You can't use common name. It should be followed by any person in any part of the world. Universal rules are required to avoid any ambiguity, confusion. Yes. Universal rules pertaining to nomenclature. First thing is this. These names should be taken from Latin. Latin origin. Latin names only. The term may originate from anything, but you have to convert it into a Latin word. Latinized only for binomial nomenclature, for this type of international nomenclature. That's one thing. Secondly, first word is always generic name. Genus. Second word is species or specific epithet. All right. You can't interchange this thing. Thirdly, first letter of the first word. First letter of genus, generic name, should be capital. But first letter of species should not be capital, small letter. And you have observed in plant kingdom, animal kingdom, biological classification, some words are printed in italics. Why? This is most important in bio. You have got italics. It means they are derived from Latin. It means that is the scientific name. That is the biological name. Okay. Or when I write the scientific name, I can underline it separately. I shall not underline both the words together. In fact, I can't keep these two words together. So I have to underline genus, species separately by keeping space between genus name and species name. This first letter has to be capital letter. Here small letter. Generic species. Latin word only. Is it very difficult to follow? Rules pertaining to binomial nomenclature. Scientific names are derived from Latin word. Yes, irrespective of origin, it has to be converted into Latin only. It can be followed by anyone in any part of the world without any ambiguity, without any confusion. That is the advantage. First letter, second letter, first word, second word. Okay, I wrote it here. You can say this is the second point, this is the third feature. That's all right if you interchange. And then this. Why do we underline scientific names? Or why do they print that in italics? This part you have to understand pertaining to this rules of binomial nomenclature. What have you understood today? Diversity in the living world. Meaning of biodiversity. Number and types of organisms found on earth. Many are yet to be discovered. There are so many species. We can't study all species. Therefore, we shall identify similar species and keep them in genus, so that we can say this is the characteristic feature of genus. This is the characteristic feature of family. This is the characteristic feature of order. This is the characteristic feature of class. This is the characteristic feature of phylum. This is the characteristic feature of kingdom. So we will come to know the entire living world. Therefore, we need to follow taxonomy. Based on characteristics, we classify the organisms into different categories. Taxa. You can say rank from here till here. So that process of classification is called taxonomy. Classification is just simply grouping of organisms, making convenient groups, right? Grouping of organisms based on some easily observable features. Nomenclature, like this. Binomial nomenclature. Linnaeus introduced binomial nomenclature. You can take examples. And then you can say identification. Yes, taxonomy does include all the three. But modern taxonomy considers systematics also, evolution relationship also, chromosome number also, chromosome behavior also, internal structures, ecological parameters, and many more things. Yes. In theory, question will be like this: what is binomial nomenclature? Give an example. Or rules pertaining to binomial nomenclature. Or they can ask one more question: what is taxonomy? Or what is classification? What is nomenclature? And what is identification? Or what is biodiversity? Yes, while explaining, somewhere I gave you correct taxonomic position of humans also. Do you remember? Correct systematic position, that's called taxonomic position of humans. We identify humans. We know the nomenclature of humans. So we prepare a correct taxonomic position, classification for human being. How? Homo sapien, sapien species, Homo genus, Hominidae family, Primata order, Mammalia class, then Chordata phylum, Animalia kingdom. Everyone has to take this table 1.1 organism with their taxonomic categories. They have given the classification of butterfly. First thing is manum, I gave you already. Another thing is butterfly, then mango, then wheat. I will teach this tomorrow from species level to kingdom level. Correct sequence again. But once you go to this table and write it in the class notes, because you should be familiar with these Latin names. Otherwise, you will not have any shortcut to remember it. You have to write it. So again, when you listen to the class tomorrow, you will become very familiar to those names. And it will be very easy for you to understand any concept. You are just struggling to get the meaning of this, then you can't understand this overview of taxonomy, significance of taxonomy, and what is the basis, similarity or differences, etc. Okay, I will continue tomorrow. Bye.